fear can actually become worse after spiritually awakening. You would think before you spiritually awaken, fear would be worse. And then after you become spiritually conscious, the fear would diminish, which is absolutely correct. However, sometimes it gets worse before it actually gets better, because you become consciously aware of all those fears and all those subconscious programs before anchoring them into the heart. Let's talk a little bit about living from the heart center today, the relevance of this topic, why it's so important, and how to do it. Because I think this is something that we need to be talking about constantly, all the time. This is so important for today. The purpose of the era that we're in is learning how to live and breathe through the heart center, and how to come into alignment in all of our energy centers through the heart, through that place, that point of transformation and healing and connection and clarity. Now, fear is why the heart center remains closed. It's a fear. It's a fear of many things, and fear itself has many branches. A branch of fear is shame. You could experience shame of having the fear of fear. If fear is the basis of guilt, of arrogance, of negativity. You understand what I'm saying when I say that when your heart's closed and you have a bad attitude out in the world, or you have arrogance and you believe that's the right way, you believe all these other ways of living and operating in lower levels of consciousness are how you make it in the world. That's merely survival. That's not living from the heart. And when you understand that fear is the only thing that's keeping you from living and breathing from the heart, you understand that fear is actually an illusion. I don't care if every other person on the planet is living from fear. That doesn't make it the right way. That doesn't make it the way that you were born and created to live. Every person is designed and created to come into that glory and that union of living in the image of God, just as Jesus Christ did. Now, living from the heart center doesn't mean handing out butterflies and blowing kisses and being walked all over and handing yourself out in a way. Absolutely not. You see, because when we live from the heart center, all of our chakras are kind of woven into that center. So we have the confidence, the self-esteem, the knowing, the will to be able to set boundaries, to know who we are, to know how to act, when to act, and with whom. We have greater levels of awareness and consciousness so that we're able to make these choices and make these moves and trust ourselves, because we're drawing from our own infinite well of love, creativity, and knowing. So I just want to start off with saying, don't be afraid of being afraid. How's that for a paradox? Don't be afraid to be afraid, because we all experience it. You might think that because I'm standing here and explaining why it's so important to live through the heart and all the beautiful benefits and things that come from being heart-centered and aligned, don't start feeling guilt for not having experienced that or not experiencing that as much as you want to. That's what I mean by don't be afraid of being afraid. Fear has many layers to it, like I think I already mentioned. Shame is one of them. So when you have a fear, when you're like scared that you're scared of everything, that shame kind of prevents you from bringing your awareness and your consciousness onto what it is you're actually experiencing. So accept what you're going through. It doesn't make you any less human. It doesn't make you any less worthy. It doesn't make you any less beautiful. It's a natural part of the human experience and a necessary, crucial part of the process of becoming heart-centered. How would you gain that level of wisdom and self-mastery without having experienced the darkest of the hells? So don't be afraid of being afraid, and fear can actually become worse after spiritually awakening. You would think before you spiritually awaken, fear would be worse. And then after you become spiritually conscious, the fear would diminish, which is absolutely correct. However, sometimes it gets worse before it actually gets better, because you become consciously aware of all those fears and all those subconscious programs before anchoring them into the heart. And that's why the fear actually gets worse. So you look around, you're experiencing all this imbalance, you're in fear, and then you're looking around at other people who maybe aren't as spiritually conscious or aware, or don't have as high caliber of a soul purpose as you do, and they seem to not have a fear in the world. Let them be. Be happy for them. Know that that's yours as well. That's your level of reality as well. Honor your own timing. Honor your own journey. Don't worry about them. Let them be. Be happy for them. When our heart center's closed, it's just really the cause of so much disease, and the disease is then perpetuating the closedness of the heart center. It's kind of like a vicious cycle. Here's how you begin to open it. Because what do you imagine an open heart center to feel like? It feels like belonging. It feels like clarity. It feels like love. It feels like safety. It feels like comfort. It feels warm, welcoming, and all-inclusive. So many things that so many people on earth are not today. This is why we're called warriors of love. This is why we're called light warriors. This is why we're here. This is our mission. This is why we were chosen, to be able to correct that imbalance and lay that new foundation by knowing we belong, by claiming that glory, by being in that empowered state of self-esteem and healing and balance. The way is through the heart portal. Go back to your inner child. Go back to that pure, sweet, unconditional love of your inner child. And know that you're safe, and be there. And bring that forward and be able to merge that with your mature adult, with your spiritually mature adult who knows how to function in the world. Bring forth your inner child and be able to blend and merge them together in sweet union. Because when we know that we belong, when we know that's our purpose, when we know we're the ones who are the warriors of light, that in itself right there is like, oh yeah, this is my purpose. This is why I'm here. I'm not afraid to shine unabashedly from my heart. I'm not afraid to cry, because love is so sweet. And connection is the most beautiful thing on the planet. Living from that space of joy, of connectivity, of healing is not unrealistic. Because we're in a human body, of course, it can't be like that all the time. But you get to choose how often you live from that space, how often you express yourself. And today, we're connecting with more people really than we could ever have imagined to be connected with through social media, through the internet. And I think instead of allowing that to kind of bully us and push us back down, I think that's the best opportunity to be able to stand up and use your voice and shine in your truth, no matter what anyone else is saying or doing, no matter what anyone else is thinking, of course, because that's only a reflection of them. Shining from your authenticity is the greatest gift that you have, and is also the greatest contribution to the planet that you can give. So constantly question, is this my authentic self? Whenever you feel kind of bullied or pushed around, ask yourself, what is this that's actually making me believe I can't live from the heart center? Making me believe that I'm not actually safe, that I can't be successful. Question everything. Thank you for liking today's video. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel and join the community to continue receiving guidance as you reclaim your divinity and step into your soul purpose at this pivotal time on the planet.